Hello, my name is Robert Ostman. This is the second video of a series of 3 videos that I have made expecting to provide most of the info needed so you can make a setup like the one used on the rear rack of my moped. So to make this project more easy to watch, I have taken the liberty of speeding up a good portion of it, knowing that the viewer will be able to slow down the speed where needed. As we see this far, I'm just providing some visual cues. My idea here is to provide the visual info, expecting that the viewer will be able to create a mental image of the part. In other words, to get familiarized with the part and its intricacies. This far, we get that the part has been painted and has a bunch of holes, and that there are 2 parts that have been glued to it, and they all have been shaped in a way as to provide a function. Here I am taking my time expecting to show in the video that there is some extra detail. These shapes were added when I was looking to provide a tight fit onto the moped's rear rack. Has to be able to withstand the weight of the plastic box and of the cargo. In general, we need a material that is light in weight and strong. Common tree-ply, also known as plywood, has all the characteristics needed for this project, and its price is more than adequate. Now, this material can be found in stores being sold and cataloged with different amounts of thickness and different numbers of layers. Each layer provides added structural strength. So, here I can say, thanks to my personal experience, that we will need to get the one that has at least 5 layers. Anything less won't do. Anything less would definitely be improper. Anything less will flex, bend, twist, crack and break. So 5 layers is the minimum. In fact, if you notice, the parts that I have been using have 5 layers. This in turn also means that the work done to create each shape is the work that will grant the proper result with less waste. Also, here is my timely warning for those viewers with no skills. What I have managed to achieve here is a part that will do, that will work for my personal needs. You will need to evaluate if this is enough for your needs and to keep in mind its limits. In my case, I know that the box is strong, so is the tree-ply or plywood, and so is the moped rear rack. Combining these 3 in the way that I have done will work for my personal needs, and I believe that it should be the best option for many of those watching the video, yet you need to evaluate if it's the ideal solution for your needs. I opted to use tree-ply or plywood because I have used this material previously, and I know that it is close in strength to the one used in skateboards and longboards. Several coatings of paint were applied to protect it from the environment. Here it is important to note that the first one was used to close the wood pores. This helps because in this way the wood gets sealed and it will prevent a exaggerated absorption of the following coatings into the wood. The second layer was primer. Please note that sandpaper was also used, this before the coatings and in between them. The paint used was the one that is sold in spray bottles. In this way, we don't need fancy painting hardware. I opted to use a custom trapezoidal shape for the main body of the board because it provides some aerodynamics. In general, its shape and length provide enough support for the box. Let's keep in mind that I have been using this setup for more than 1 year, so it has been tested in real-life situations. The plastic box that I'm using is pretty big, and it actually covers most of the board. This, in turn, translates into less maintenance costs, so that's always a good thing. Now, what we're currently watching is me creating a template of the board. I have transferred the locations of each hole to the paper, and I have traced the perimeter of the board onto the paper. This will provide the info that I need so to be able to measure the dimensions and distances. When I was recording the video, I wasn't sure if the red color used to trace the perimeter would actually be properly seen in the video, so I used one of my fancy markers to retrace the lines. To my surprise, later I discovered that I had put the board right on top of the Q-tip with the orange paint. To be able to trace proper straight lines, I opted to use a couple of rulers. The object is symmetrical. This means that one would only need to know the dimensions on the left or the right side of the board to get the dimensions of the other side. To take the measurements actually took a tad longer than I had originally estimated. The video ended up being really long, so I took the liberty of speeding this ordeal in the editing process.